Family, it is good to be back on this platform in this sort of format. Big hug to all of y'all. Appreciate we had some fun here in the chat for those that got here a little early. My man A. Sinclair, first one on. Excited to be here, along with Nadine Gibson. And then we had Kesara Sarah and Mike Skaggs. Rose Hooper and Kate Craft were the first on here. And one of my favorite ginger sisters from another Mr. You know who you are, Crazy Redhead. Appreciate y'all being here. Let's get right into this. Oh, and Devil Saint said, I'm so thrilled to see Basic Core Principles back on YouTube dropping knowledge. Let's get into this, folks. Let's get into this. I'm excited. You know, I've been married for 27 years. I've been fat and happy, and now I'm losing weight and happy. And the missus, knowing that I'm going to do a live stream, also knowing that I went and had my butt kicked by a trainer today, because I'm really trying to not just lose this weight, but just make a lifestyle change to keep it off. She brings me a big fat slice of pizza. Man, I love my wife. But man, Mexican wives, no matter what you do, she still brings me the calories. And let me mention, my wife herself has lost like 40, 50 pounds over the last few years. She's like become a gym rat, but she still likes to feed me. So this is one of the many reasons why no matter what's happening in this crazy world, I got a smile on my face. And then you guys, with your love and your energy, you make that smile go from here to here. So I appreciate you being here. Let's get into this. Let's get into this wacky world. Look, it's just craziness right now. How we deal with this is we just have to have a little fun. We have to have a little levity. We just have to sit back and just go, well, damn it. It's just is a crazy world. The politics of the United States are absolutely mind-boggling. Sometimes we just got to sit back and just chuckle and just go, this can't be real. But hell, unfortunately it is. And we just have to, I guess, grin and bear it and just smile right through it. So smile along with me. Give me your smiley faces in the chat. By the way, make sure that you go into the actual like button and hit it. That forces the YouTube algorithm to invite more people to the live stream. I see the comments. I didn't know there was a live stream. I didn't get a notification except for the last minute one I did yesterday because it was date night. We actually, now that we don't have kids at home, we do 2 date nights a week, usually Tuesday and Thursday. And then we'll go out on the weekends, but we consider Tuesday and Thursday date night. We like to go out and do stuff when everyone else, there's no crowds. Very blessed to do that. And it doesn't have to, it's not always like something expensive either. We went and caught a movie last night, but sometimes we just hold hands and walk somewhere or just grab an ice cream or something. You know, that's what we've been doing ever since we were poor, broke students, college students, and we just continue doing it. Now, for those of you who are absolutely just blown out of your minds that you're seeing me, just know that I went nowhere. Starting March 1st, 2021, I started a show. That show is still running, and you can catch it at bcpextras.com. Go over to bcpextras.com or therealbcp.com, or search for me by the name of my old show on Spotify, and you will find that I have a show that has been going on for probably going on 2,000 episodes, because 4 years, an average of 400 to 500 episodes a year. So let's just say 1,500 to 2,000 episodes. People are blown out of their minds that they're seeing me on this platform, but I have been reporting. Now, there are just certain things you just are taboo for platforms of this type. We won't get into it here, even though we all know what happened a few years ago. We all know what happened during the pandemic. We all know what that's all about. But, you know, it's in this mixed company, those are impolite subjects. I still cover them. I cover them in depth. Make sure you go over to bcpextras.com, therealbcp.com, or check out the show over on Spotify. Okay, so this is a survey. This is a survey of Americans in nationwide. Okay. Oh, by the way, this is from this is a U.S. Census Bureau household pulse survey. Okay, so this is not like them trying to say, "Oh, you're quoting some kind of Trump campaign survey." No, no, no. U.S. Census Bureau. Okay, and this was covered by Axios. Left of center Axios. So put that conservative bias aside if you had that inclination. And this is what the survey found. This is what the survey found. At least 35% of Americans in more than half of all states, now here's the kicker, including 5 key swing states, report that they had difficulty covering household expenses in a June and July survey published today, Wednesday, September 4th. The U.S. Census Bureau's Household Pulse survey finds that at least 35% of Americans in a whopping 33 states between June 25th and July 22nd said it was somewhat or very difficult to pay for typical expenses. We're not talking about people here trying to buy a vacation home, a second or third, fourth car, a boat, an ATV, a vacation. Typical household expenses. At least 35%. That means over a third of the households. But wait a minute. Kamala Harris is proud of Bidenomics, but she's not. She's been touting how great Bidenomics is, but at the same time, she's running about how she's going to fix the economy. This is a person that knows nothing, has never run a business, has never been really an employee in the private sector. She says she worked for McDonald's, but they can't find any proof that she actually did. But she's going to fix it. But she's part of the problem. For example, let's talk about one of the swing states. In Pennsylvania, 35.1% of respondents reported having trouble covering their expenses in an economy that was ravaged by 4-year high inflation under the Harris-Biden administration. Now, in a separate CNN SSRS poll, also published today, they found that Keystone State voters overwhelmingly selected the economy as their most important issue when choosing a candidate for president. So if the most important topic is the economy, and they are failing on this most important of topics, how does she win? How does Kamala Harris win when people don't have to be sold Bidenomics because they can't afford to buy Bidenomics or any other BS that comes out of the mouth of Kamala Harris or any DNC operative, including mainstream media? How does that happen? It doesn't. She can't win, at least not in a free and fair way. Now, I found this to be very interesting. I'm leading with economic news because there's method to my madness. And I've already told you what this is. The basic core principle of politics is life sucks, especially on the Democrat side. Life sucks. Vote for me. I'll make it better. Okay? Worked for President Trump in 2016. Look, life sucks under the tyranny of the Uniparty, represented by George W. Bush before Obama. Same policies, endless wars, porous border, China, and everyone's beating us. Life sucks. Vote for me. A businessman will make it better. He comes in and holy crap, Donald John Trump actually kept his promises. In 2020, he ran on, let's continue this stream of successes. The other side ran on, oh, life is terrible because President Trump says mean things and he's harsh sometimes. And he calls Rosie O'Donnell fat. Look, as a recovering fat guy, she was fat. You can't solve a problem if you're not honest about it. I had to come to terms with high blood pressure and way too many pounds for my 5'3" frame. We had to come with terms that, yeah, things weren't so great under Obama. And that worked. So the basic core principle of politics is life sucks, vote for me, I will make it better. Life does suck. 40-year high inflation, Everything's unaffordable, high interest rates, slow and lagging economy, all caused by the people currently in power under this Biden, Obama, Soros, Harris, globalist, uniparty regime. And President Trump is running on, hey, it sucks. It was good under me. Let's get back to where it was good, and if not better. Now, I found this to be very interesting, and I'm just going to mention this for a second, because we sell kids on getting a college degree. All right? I bought into that. I'm glad I did. I got a degree, and it served me well. I made a good living to provide for my family. But when people are getting a degree, they should be getting a degree in stupid stuff like gender studies or ethnic studies or comparative literature. Look, when I was at UC Berkeley, I wanted to be a comparative literature. I wanted to have some sort of degree in that. But I realized, I want to get married. I want to have kids. I want to be able to support them. And I don't want my wife to have to work. I know the patriarchy. I'm such an evil guy. So I said, let me go towards something more business oriented and numbers oriented, and ended up getting a degree in economics. But when kids ask me what I should get a degree in, I've got a lot of nieces and nephews. They're always like, Theo, I'm going to go to school. What do you think I should get a degree in? Most of them don't pay attention to me. That's fine. But I tell them in STEM. If you're going to go do something that is rigorous and that's quantitative and that it is in STEM, you want to be in science, you want to be in technology, you want to be in engineering, you want to be in math. You want to be in something technical, something rigorous, something that's going to use math, is going to make you money. Well, this same government data, we're finding out that salaries have been flat for people working in STEM. I have been giving my sobrinos y sobrinas bad advice. Salaries and benefits for tech workers have been flat since 2008. Interestingly enough, that's when the Hawaiian Indonesian guy came in. Amid massive corporate profits and huge stock gains, and that's according to federal data that was put together by Center for Immigration Studies. Why could that be? Oh, yeah, the H-1B1 visas. They're giving priority to foreign tech workers in STEM, so that keeps the U.S. salaries for Americans suppressed. Now, I live here in Utah, and one of my senators, one of them is embarrassing, Mitt Romney. The other one is Mike Lee. And I have a love-hate relationship with Mike Lee, not personally, but when it comes to what he fights for, because he is very conservative. But on the other side, he really shills for those H-1B1 visas. So we really got to get this immigration thing done. So Tim Walz today is asked how he and Vice President Kamala Harris are going to lower prices. And guess what he does? The question is, what's your administration going to do about lowering prices? Can you answer the question, please? And what does Tim Walz say? No, that wasn't a weird silence. That wasn't just a weird, awkward silence. That I did that by design, folks. Crickets. Walz said nothing. He ignored the question. They asked what his policy was on, and his handlers told the people to get out. Can we get a question at some point? Someone asked. Just ignored the question. And then Eric Swalwell today on CNN, can't make this shiznit up, folks. You can't make this up. On Wednesday's broadcast of CNN News Central, Representative Eric Swalwell, fang, fang, bang, bang, the spy who loved me so horny, that guy. Eric Swalwell. Eric Swalwell looks, okay, look, folks, I'm 50. This is not the old basic core principles that you guys saw a few years ago on this platform. This is the new me. And I'm hungry and cranky. I'm hangry. Not really, folks. We're just having a little fun here. But Eric Swalwell looks like a douchebag. Just looks like a douche. And I'm saying that as a Californian. He looks like a douchebag. You know why? Because he is a douche. Forgive me. I know. Not very Christian of me. But hey, I'm keeping it real. So Eric Swalwell, fang, fang, bang, bang, loving the Chinese spies. This is what he had to say. In all seriousness, you can't make this up. This guy is in the U.S. Congress. He said that Harris hasn't really formulated any economic plans, and she hasn't done economic plans that she promises because she's only been vice president and she's been supporting Biden. So we're supposed to say, like, she's just a vice president. She can't do anything. She's just been supporting her boss. But when she's the boss, she's going to do things differently. Quote, she's been the vice president and she's been supporting her president who's had 15 million jobs created under his presidency, more than any president in my lifetime. But it doesn't mean that gas and groceries are as affordable as they need to be. And that doesn't mean enough people who work hard have a home. So it's aspirational, and she does believe that she can build on the successes of the Biden economy. And that's what we're seeing in this rollout today. And that's what you're going to see in the contrast next week. Look, you don't need imagination to think about what this is going to look like when Donald Trump and Kamala Harris stand on the same stage. She's going to talk about the future and ideas and how we're going to get there. And she's just going to be stuck in this past, and you'll hear zero ideas other than how from Trump, how he's a grieved person. And this is entirely about him. So, okay, so I'll just stop there. The point is this. She's been supporting Biden. That's why we're going to have to wait to maybe see what she might roll out on that debate stage in 6 days. Even though Trump actually did all the things that she says she wants to do. So look, she can't beat Trump come November. She can't beat Trump come November. Oh, by the way, talking about Chinese spies, New York Republicans are now calling for an investigation of Governor Kathy Hochul, the yokel local of New York, after her top aide was charged with working as an agent for China. They should all be investigated. If my wife turned out to be a Chinese spy, it seemed appropriate that they would investigate me. So if you have an aide that's been there pushing your agenda and turns out to be shilling for the CCP, they should be under investigation. But look, they can't beat President Trump. And that's why they want to ixnay him. That's why they want to, let's just call it, that's why they want to JFK him. They want to Johnny Kennedy him. And everything that happened on J13 was a setup. We have so much evidence, folks. We just need to call it proof at this point. So here's what you need to know. This is all courtesy of Josh Hawley and whistleblowers in Hawley's ear. I hope we're going old school here. I hope you can hear this. This is Josh Hawley with Jesse Waters. This is what he had to say.
Charlie's been in contact with whistleblowers and has new information he's going to exclusively share with us here at Primetime. So what now are we hearing from whistleblowers, Senator?
Well, what I've heard tonight, Jesse, is that most of the agents who were there at that rally in Butler were not Secret Service agents. They were, in fact, Homeland Security agents. And get this, most of those Homeland Security agents, the only training that they received was an online webinar, a 2-hour online webinar. And I'm told that about half the time, the sound to the webinar didn't even work. So think about this. The president...
Did y'all hear that? TWC says it's one big club and we ain't in it. Yep, George Carlin was right. They were planning for this attempt to Johnny Kennedy, President Trump, on J13, and they had his protection detail was made up of people that were not Secret Service. They were Homeland Security. They were not trained in that detail. Oh, wait. They were trained via a damn seminar. A seminar which half the time was buffering and didn't even work. Not making this up, folks. These are whistleblowers telling this to John Hawley. Absolute insanity. Are y'all quiet on the chat, or did they freeze the chat up? I don't see any new chats. Thumbs up if y'all can hear me. Can y'all hear me? I need thumbs up. I'm not seeing any new chats all of a sudden. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Kelly. Thank you, North Star. Okay, so you guys were paying attention, and it's weird because I see a lot of activity and then there was no activity. So thank you for the thumbs up. Okay, so let's get into details. See, Holly is one of those. Y'all are doing great in Missouri with Holly. Actually, I don't even know who your other, or at least at the top of my head right now, I can't think of who your other senator is. So we know on July 13th, President Trump was shot in the ear and not shot in the head. Total act of God during the rally in Butler. And we know that everything was FUBAR, right? But now we just absolutely see this as a setup. Most of the agents protecting President Trump during this attempted assassination attempt were not Secret Service. They were Homeland Security personnel who received a 2-hour online webinar to protect a former president and future president, again, of the United States of America. But guess who had Secret Service detail that day? Jill Biden, the floozy, floozy, same thing, at least during this regime. She had Secret Service personnel, but President Trump had Homeland Security and Pat and short female. I'm not a female and I should not be on protective detail for a 6'4" president. Let's just say I was 5'3" and badass. I should not be covering a 6'4" president. Yet President Trump had that and didn't even have Secret Service. Okay, but the plot thickens. Oh, the plot thickens here, folks. By the way, if you haven't done so yet, make sure you press the like button on this video so more people get notified of this live stream. If you came in late and you are happy to see me because you think I disappeared, I've been on the interwebs this entire time. Make sure you go over to bcpextras.com, bcpextras.com, or therealbcp.com, or look under the old channel name on Spotify, actually on all of the major podcasting platforms. You can catch the show that's been running continuously since March 1st, 2021. So Josh Hawley wrote a letter to Secret Service Director Rowe detailing what the new whistleblower allegations are. Here is the letter. Dear Acting Director Rowe, when Homeland Security Investigations agents partnered with Secret Service, they should be properly trained. New whistleblower allegations contend this isn't happening and that HSI agents reassigned to candidate details, including former President Trump's, are woefully unprepared for the job. Whistleblower allegations my office have that the only training they received, these HSI agents reassigned to work protective details, is a single 2-hour webinar on Microsoft Teams featuring pre-recorded videos. The allegations from the whistleblower allege that these videos were not substantive and their playback was frequently riddled with technical mishaps, leaving the HSI agents ill-prepared for the protective mission to which they were newly assigned. To quote the whistleblower directly, quote, imagine 1,000 people logging onto Microsoft Teams at the same time after being informed at the last minute that everyone needed to log on individually. Once it got rolling, the Secret Service instructor couldn't figure out how to get the audio working on the pre-recorded videos. Okay, let's back up here a second. Once again, not a comedy of errors. 1, HSI agents not properly trained. But 2, trained via a webinar. 3, the trainer from the Secret Service couldn't even properly do the training, didn't know how to do the audio. How could you possibly, in any way, shape, form, or fashion, not draw the conclusion that this is by design, that they wanted there to be shots fired and not graze the ear, but hit President Trump somewhere in the cranial area. That was what was intended, and it was supposed to be a shyster show with people ill-trained, ill-prepared in the detail. Every little detail was planned so that there was no protection for President Trump. Even down to the supposed training being inadequate and piss poorly executed. You can't make this shiznit up. For shizzle, to quote another Californian. Let me continue with this letter. Once it got rolling, they found out that it was the same video as last year. All told, they restored the video approximately 6 times, and the content was not helpful. I repeat, the content was not helpful. I'm not trying to insult your intelligence. For those of you just joining, they were not Secret Service. They were Homeland Security, not trained in protective detail. The training they were given was a webinar, which had to be started 6 times, was not brought up to date, was from the previous year. The trainer was ill-prepared, did not know how to get the audio going. And when they finally got the training, it was crap. It didn't work. It wasn't helpful. How can you not draw the conclusion that it was not helpful by design? It was all part of their plan. Worse, I'm still quoting the letter here. These are not my words. Quote, worse, this is the letter from the Honorable Senator Josh Hawley to the dishonorable acting director of the Secret Service, Ronald Rowe, who actually was running the show, not Director Cheadle. Quote, worse, the whistleblower alleges the Secret Service has not changed, updated, or otherwise improved its webinar trainings since the assassination attempt in Butler. In the words of the whistleblower, nothing new, nothing improved since the assassination attempt on former President Trump. 2 months later, it's the same piss poor training. It was the same piss poor training from last year that didn't even work and wasn't helpful to the people who didn't even know what they were doing. For instance, I don't speak a lick of Ukrainian. Imagine they say, James, you are going to Ukraine. We need you to go. We need you to go to do the most simplest of tasks. They put me on a webinar training, Microsoft Teams, that doesn't work, restarts 6 times. The trainer doesn't know how to get the audio. And at the end of the training, I don't even know how to say Guten Tag, Guten Morgen. I can't say merci. I can't say s'il vous plaît. I can't say bonsoir. I can't say anything. I know nothing about the Ukrainian language. After the end of this seminar, I still don't know anything about the Ukrainian language, but I'm going to Ukraine without an interpreter. Okay, that's a piss poor example. But it seems like I could do the training for the protective detail. So obvious. But Josh Hawley's not done. Quote, other whistleblowers, where did that come from, James? I just got hit with Elmer Fudd disease. If you're having fun, even though this sucks for America, this sucks for President Trump, just give me some smiley faces in the chat box. If you're watching this on the replay, put the smiley faces in the comment section. We got to smile. We got to have fun with this, because if not, we'd pull our hair out if we had any. I actually have hair. I shave on purpose because I think it looks badass for me to have my graying goatee with a shaved head. Makes me look like, because they say since I'm MAGA and since I support Trump, That makes me a supremacist, right? That makes me self-hating. That makes me a racist against black people, supposedly. So if I've been accused of being a skinhead, why not look like a skinhead? If we don't laugh, we'll cry, folks. If we don't laugh, we'll cry. Quote, other whistleblowers with direct knowledge of the July 13 rally have previously approached my office with related testimony. For example, I wrote to Secretary Mayorkas on July 19th, so that's 6 days afterward, about allegations that there were more HSI agents and Secret Service agents at the rally. I also wrote you on August 5th about allegations that HSI agents at the rally allegedly had never worked a protective detail before and did not know proper procedure. Finally, according to recent public reports, the HSI agents working the rally only received one PowerPoint presentation for training. In other words, all of these allegations together suggest that a significant number of personnel tasked with providing security for former President Trump at the July 13 rally were egregiously underprepared by the Secret Service to carry out the mission. Moreover, these latest whistleblower allegations contend HSI agents were pulled off child exploitation cases in order to serve on protective detail for which they were unprepared. And then he asked for a whole bunch of stuff, which they won't give him because the other side's allowed to be in contempt of Congress and have no consequences. But if you're MAGA and you have contempt of Congress, well, then they throw your ass in jail. Folks, you got to love Holly. See, this is why I could never be in DC, because this is how I speak. How I speak to you is how I speak to my children, how I speak to my family. I could not speak eloquently and flowery. Josh Hawley. Ah, God love him. God does love him. God loves all of us. In other words, these allegations suggest that the rally was egregiously underprepared. Well, that's one hell of a way of saying it. They were egregiously underprepared. Josh Hawley knows. We all know. It was by design. The basic core principle of the deep state was to set up everything so that they could kill 45 and stop 45 from being 47, let 46 become 47, and hand the reins over to hyena, cackles, heels up Harris. And God thwarted that plan, put his heavenly hands on Trump, made him look at those statistics, and all we got was a little bit grazed ear. Hallelujah, praise be to the Almighty God in heaven. And because of God's actions on J13, I think he's going to bless us and assist us in thwarting their machinations, their skullduggery, their plans, plots, and schemes to try to do a repeat of what we saw last time. Because Kamala Harris can't win, bringing it home. I'm running third and running toward home plate because 35% of people in key states included struggle to make ends meet. They're going to vote for Trump just so they can pay their bills. And even people in high-paying jobs have had flat salaries since 2008. She can't win. She can't win legitimately. That's why they try to take out Trump on J13. And guess what, folks? You think they're going to stop there? Of course not. They've got other dark plans. They got a plan D through Z. I don't know where we're at in the alphabet, but we're in for a hell of a ride. And I will navigate you through it here at Basic Core Principles. Don't forget to check out bcpextras.com or therealbcp.com. I'm not going to make any promises to you, but I'm going to try very hard to make sure that I'm reporting on here daily. So until then, ciao, goodbye, God bless, big hug, God bless America. Do not stop praying for the protection of Donald John Trump, our duly elected and beloved president. We must win. We must win.